List of highest-grossing Bollywood films. This video compresses information gathered from Wikipedia in video format. Studies prove that reading while listening improves comprehension, increases speed as well as expands vocabulary and enhances fluency. Video sections. Abstract. Global gross figures. Highest-grossing films by language. Highest-grossing franchises and film series. References. Give your feedback on the comments section. Support the channel by subscribing and liking the video. Thanks. Abstract. This is a ranking of the highest-grossing Indian films, which includes films from various languages, based on the conservative global box office estimates as reported by reputable sources. There is no official tracking of domestic box office figures within India, and Indian sites publishing data are frequently pressured to increase their domestic box office estimates. Indian films have been screened in markets around the world since the early 20th century. As of 2003, there are markets in over 90 countries where films from India are screened. During the first decade of the 21st century, there was a steady rise in the ticket price, a tripling in the number of theaters and an increase in the number of prints of a film being released, which led to a large increase in the box office collections. The majority of highest-grossing Indian films are Bollywood, Hindi films as of 2014. Bollywood represents 43% of the net box office revenue in India, while Tamil and Telugu cinema represent 36%. And other regional industries constitute 21%. See List of highest-grossing films in India for domestic gross figures and List of highest-grossing Indian films in overseas markets for overseas gross figures. Global gross figures. The following list shows India's top 25 highest-grossing films, which include films from all the Indian languages. The figures are not adjusted for inflation. The following list of films is sorted in terms of Indian rupees. Currency conversions to US dollars are also given as reference points, but may not be consistent, as the dollar-rupee exchange rate has varied over time, from 48 rupees per dollar in 2009 to over 65 rupees per dollar in 2017. Highest-grossing films by language. Bengali cinema was the center of Indian cinema in the 1930s, and accounted for a quarter of India's film output in the 1950s. Cinema in South India accounted for nearly half of India's cinema halls in the 1940s. Assamese cinema is based in the state of Assam and produces films in Assamese language. Bengali cinema is the Bengali language film industry centered in the Tollygunj neighborhood of Kolkata, West Bengal. It has been known by the nickname Tollywood, a portmanteau of the words Tollygunj and Hollywood. Since 1932, the Bhojpuri cinema produces films in the Bhojpuri language. It caters to an audience from eastern Uttar Pradesh, western Bihar and Nepal. The Gujarati cinema produces films in Gujarati language and is primarily focused on the audience in Gujarat and Mumbai. The film industry is sometimes referred to as Hollywood or Gollywood. The Hindi language film industry, based in Mumbai, India, is frequently known as Bollywood. Bollywood is the largest film producer in India and one of the largest centers of film production in the world. Bengaluru is the center for the Kannada cinema. Films produced in the Kannada language. It is sometimes known by the nickname Sandalwood. Malayalam cinema is a part of Indian cinema based in Kerala dedicated to the production of motion pictures in the Malayalam language. It is sometimes known by the nickname Mollywood by certain media outlets. These are the top 10 highest-grossing Malayalam films. The Marathi cinema industry produces films in the Marathi language and is based in the state of Maharashtra, India. India's first full-length film, Raja Harishchandra, was released in 1913 in Marathi. It is sometimes known by the nickname M-Town by media. Odia cinema is primarily based in Odisha state, producing movies mainly in the Odia language and a few movies in Sambalpuri language. The first Odia movie was Sita Vivaha, which was released in 1936. Punjabi cinema, producing films in the Punjabi language, is primarily based in the state of Punjab. Tamil cinema. The Tamil language film industry is based in the Kodambakkam neighborhood of Chennai, Tamil Nadu, India. It is sometimes colloquially known as Kollywood, a portmanteau of Kodambakkam and Hollywood. T-series. Telugu cinema, also known by its nickname Tollywood, is a part of Indian cinema producing films in the Telugu language, in the states of Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, and is centered in the Hyderabad neighborhood of Film Nagar. Highest-grossing franchises and film series. The Kaladi franchise was the first film franchise to gross over 100 crore, followed by the Krish film series. Bahubali is the first franchise to collect over 1,000 crore at the box office, and the only franchise where both its films have grossed more than 500 crore worldwide.